after I got out of high school. Well, I grew up with horses. My dad never got a tractor till after I was away from the farm. And I worked with these so-called gentle giants that they call them now. That said they wouldn't step on you and they wouldn't kick you and they wouldn't bite. And I've been stepped on and kicked and bit and run away with a lot of times. And those horses would run away. One time, Gail and I were cleaning out the chicken house. And Doyle was down in the machine shed. He was always building something, a wagon or a sled or some kind of machinery, whatever was in season, he'd be building. And Gail and I were inside the chicken house, and something scared the chickens. And they just went panicked and scared the horses, and they run off with this manure spreader. And Gail was closer to the door than I was, and he ran out the door and locked it on the outside and locked me in the chicken house. And this team run down by this machine shed where Doyle was building one of his prize projects, and he had just pulled it outside to admire it. And here comes this runaway team with the manure spreader, and Doyle, he just jumped out of the way, and they run over that piece of machinery he was building, just tore it all to pieces. And then they run on down through the barn lot and stopped at the fence in the south end of the barn lot, but the tongue of the spreader hit a fence post, broke the tongue off. Of course, Dad wasn't very happy when he got home. Another time, when Dad was gone, that's when we usually got into most of our trouble. We had a calf that we kept in the barn, and he was, probably 300, 400-pound calf. And Doyle and I got a bright idea one day we'd hitch him up to our pony cart, which we'd hitch our pony up to this pony cart and drive around. And this had two wheels. It was two wheels of an old buggy with a pair of shafts on them. And this pony harness was a breast harness, which went across the breast rather than have a collar and hangs on. And we harnessed up this calf and led him out there and hitched him up to the cart. And of course we couldn't put a bridle on him, so we had a halter on him, a pair of reins. And Doyle, I got up on the cart and Doyle got him all hitched up, and then he ran around and jumped up on the cart with me, and the calf wouldn't move. I had to slap him with the reins and reach out and kick him with my foot, and he wouldn't do nothing. Doyle says, "I'll make him move," and he jumped off the cart and he ran in the barn and had a handle of a broom with a nail in the end of it. I don't remember what we had it for. But anyway, he came running back out there and jumped up on the seat of the cart with me and punched this calf with that nail. And this calf let out a beller and arched up his back and took one big jump and headed for a gate out into a pasture. And Doyle, he went backwards off the cart, so he didn't get to ride very far. And he went down through this pasture just bucking and bellowing, and no way I could control him. And he headed for a hedge fence that was, about 5-6 feet high. It was an Osage orange hedge. And when he come to that hedge, he jumped the hedge, and he left me in the cart in the hedge, tore the harness all to pieces, and went out into a cornfield. The corn was probably 3 foot high, maybe, or maybe not quite that high, but it was brittle. Well, he still had the harness on him, and he was running around out there bucking and kicking and trying to get that harness off of him. Of course, Doyle, he come running down there, and we finally got through this hedge fence, and we were trying to catch him because we knew Dad was gonna be coming home from town pretty soon. We wanted to get that calf out of there before Dad got home. And we did. We finally got a hold of him, got him out of there, got the cart out of the hedge, picked up all the old broken harness, and got it up to the barn just before Dad got home. And Dad always liked to go around on Sunday morning, round over the farm and look at the crops. And we'd had a rain since then, since the calf episode. Anyway, Dad came back and he said, I can't understand what happened out there in this one cornfield west of the house. He said that corn's all trampled down and broke off, and he said, looks like there's been a calf out there running around. Of course, Doyle and I never said a word. We never did tell him about it, or at least I didn't. I doubt Doyle ever did. But anyway, we finally got the harness all patched up again, but we never hitched the calf up to it anymore. We stuck to the pony.